The scene opens on a calm, slightly dimly lit bedroom set at exactly 6 a.m. An alarm clock ticks loudly. A man lies asleep, then suddenly jolts awake. The camera stays tight on his face. Enter the cardiologist, standing in a clinic-style overlay, speaking directly to the camera with a serious, life-or-death expression. He begins slowly, then builds intensity. Good morning. But let me ask you something real, is it really a good morning for your heart? Because I'm not here to scare you for no reason. I'm here because every single day, in clinics and emergency rooms across the world, cardiologists like me see the same heartbreaking pattern. A patient, sometimes young, sometimes old, sometimes fit, sometimes not, collapses within the first 10 minutes of waking up. Family members say, he just got out of bed. He was fine. He didn't complain of any pain. And then he was gone. And when we investigate, when we look at the family history, the lifestyle, the morning routine, we almost always find one common enemy, a tiny, 25 to 30-second window that most people don't even think about. That morning mistake that you are probably making right now without knowing it. He pauses, leans closer to the camera. Let me walk you through what happens inside your body the moment you open your eyes. You are sleeping peacefully. Your heart rate is low, maybe 50 to 60 beats per minute. Your blood pressure has dropped naturally during the night. Your blood vessels are relaxed. Your heart is in recovery mode. That's how nature designed us, to rest, repair, and recharge while we sleep. Then the alarm rings. Or maybe your bladder wakes you up. Or the sunlight hits your face. In that very first second of consciousness, your brain's command center, the hypothalamus, triggers an instant stress response. It releases a flood of cortisol and adrenaline into your bloodstream. This is not a disease. This is normal. This is your body's natural wake-up call to get you ready for the day. Your heart rate starts climbing. Your blood vessels begin to tighten slightly. Your blood pressure rises, again, naturally, by about 10 to 15 points. That's fine. That's expected. But here is where the 25 to 30-second mistake begins. The camera zooms in on the doctor's face. His voice drops lower, more urgent. Most people, within 5 to 10 seconds of waking up, do one of three things. They sit up suddenly. They swing their legs off the bed. Or they stand up immediately, sometimes rushing to the bathroom, sometimes grabbing their phone, sometimes just turning off the alarm aggressively. And in that 25 to 30-second window, you go from lying completely flat to standing on your feet, with your full body weight pressing down, with gravity pulling blood into your legs, with your heart suddenly forced to pump against a closed, tight system. Medically, we call this orthostatic stress. But in simple words, you are asking your sleeping heart to do a sprinter's job in less than half a minute. And for a healthy 20-year-old athlete, maybe the heart manages. Maybe the blood vessels expand quickly. Maybe the brain adjusts. But for the other 90% of people? For anyone above 40? For anyone with high blood pressure, even if it's controlled? For anyone with diabetes, cholesterol, smoking history, family history of heart attack, or even undiagnosed blockages? That sudden jump from lying to standing is like stepping on the accelerator of a cold car engine. Something will crack. Something will rupture. And in medical terms, that something is often a small, silent plaque sitting inside your artery. The doctor picks up a pen and draws a quick diagram on a whiteboard. Imagine a blood vessel. Inside, there is a tiny cholesterol plaque, maybe 20%, maybe 30% blockage. You don't feel it. You have no chest pain. No shortness of breath. That plaque has been there for years, quiet, harmless. But the moment you stand up too fast, your blood pressure spikes suddenly by another 20 to 30 points. That sudden pressure hits that small plaque like a hammer hitting a crack in the wall. The plaque ruptures. Immediately, your body thinks you are bleeding internally, so it sends platelets to heal the rupture. Those platelets form a clot. That clot blocks the entire artery. Blood stops flowing to part of your heart muscle. And within minutes, sometimes seconds, you have a full-blown heart attack. Not because you ran a marathon. Not because you lifted heavy weight. But because you stood up too fast from your bed. That's the 25 to 30-second morning mistake. The doctor puts the pen down. He looks directly into the lens, almost whispering now. I have seen this happen more times than I can count. I have held the hands of families who said, "But doctor, he was fine just 5 minutes ago. He was laughing. He was getting ready for work." And I have to tell them, the trigger was not some big dramatic event. The trigger was the simple act of rushing out of bed. Your body gives you warning signs sometimes. Dizziness when you stand. Black spots in front of your eyes. A sudden pounding in your chest. But many people ignore these signs, thinking it's just morning weakness or low sugar. No. That dizziness is your brain screaming, "I'm not getting enough blood. You stood up too fast." That pounding heart is your heart crying, "You just spiked my pressure without warning." And if you ignore these cries long enough, one day, there will be no dizziness. There will be no warning. There will only be collapse. The scene shifts to a slow-motion reenactment, a man waking up, sitting up fast, standing fast, then holding his chest and falling. The doctor's voice continues over the visuals. You see, the saddest part is that this 25 to 30-second mistake is 100% preventable. It costs nothing. It takes no medicine. It requires no gym, no diet, no surgery. All it needs is one small change in your morning habit, just 90 seconds of patience. But because nobody talks about this, because nobody warns you, millions of people will continue to jump out of bed tomorrow morning. And some of them will not see the sunset. That is not drama. That is data. That is every major heart hospital's morning report. The highest number of heart attacks happen between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. The peak time. The first hour after waking. And the most common trigger. Sudden posture change within the first 30 seconds. This is not a conspiracy. This is cardiology. This is physiology. This is life and death happening inside your bedroom before you even brush your teeth. The doctor returns to the main frame. His tone becomes softer but heavier. I am not telling you this to make you afraid of your own bed. I am telling you this because I have lost patients, good people, careful people, to this exact mistake. And every single time, I wonder, if someone had just told them. If someone had just made a simple video, written a simple post, shouted from the rooftops, "Don't jump out of bed." Would they still be alive today? So let me be that someone for you. Tomorrow morning, when your alarm rings, do not move for 90 seconds. Just lie there. Breathe. Then sit up and wait 30 seconds. Then stand up and wait another 15 seconds. Then walk. That's it. That small delay is the difference between a healthy morning and a fatal heart attack. And if you think this doesn't apply to you because you are young, or fit, or have no symptoms, remember this, 50% of heart attack victims had no prior symptoms. Their first symptom was their last. Don't let your first symptom be your last. Share this with everyone you love. Because the person who needs to hear this the most might be sleeping in the next room. The screen fades to black with the text, 25 seconds of speed equals 25 years of regret. The scene opens with the cardiologist now sitting in a more relaxed but still intensely focused setting, perhaps a whiteboard behind him, a stethoscope around his neck, and a glass of water nearby. The lighting is warm but serious. He looks directly into the camera, takes a slow breath, and begins speaking, not like a lecturer, but like a mentor who has seen too much death from something so avoidable. All right. Now that I've told you what the 25 to 30 second morning mistake is, let me take you deeper. Let me break down those 25 to 30 seconds, not in a rushed way, but second by painful second, so that you truly understand what your heart goes through every single morning when you jump out of bed. Because until you see the timeline, until you feel the weight of each passing second, you might still think, oh, it's just a small habit. It won't happen to me. But it will happen to someone. And I don't want that someone to be you or your family. He stands up and walks to the whiteboard. He draws a horizontal line, marking seconds from 0 to 30. Let's start at second 0. You are asleep. Your eyes are closed. Your heart is beating peacefully at maybe 50 to 60 beats per minute. Your blood pressure is low, around 100/60 or even lower during deep sleep. Your blood vessels are wide open, relaxed, like empty highways with no traffic. Your brain is in rest mode. Everything is calm. Then something wakes you up. An alarm. A sound. A call. Nature. Whatever it is, at second 1, your eyes open. And within that single second, your brain's hypothalamus sends an emergency signal to your adrenal glands. Wake up. Day is starting. Release the hormones. And just like that, cortisol and adrenaline flood your system. This is not the problem. This is normal. This is your body's built-in alarm clock. Your heart rate starts climbing from 60 to 70, then to 80. Your blood pressure begins to rise, slowly at first, then faster. By second 5, your blood pressure has already increased by 5 to 10 points. Still fine. Still normal. The doctor draws a small upward arrow on the whiteboard. Now here's where most people make the first mistake. Between second 5 and second 15, that's just 10 seconds, most people sit up. Not slowly. Not gently. But suddenly. They jerk their body upright. They swing their legs off the bed. In some cases, they even stand up immediately. And in those 10 seconds, your blood pressure shoots up another 10 to 15 points. Why? Because when you sit up fast, gravity immediately pulls blood from your upper body into your legs. About 300 to 800 milliliters of blood, that's almost 2 full glasses, rushes downward. Your brain suddenly gets less oxygen. Your heart panics. It thinks, oh no, I'm losing pressure. So it starts pumping harder and faster. Your blood vessels squeeze tight to push blood back up to your brain. And that squeezing, that sudden tightening, is what spikes your blood pressure through the roof. By second 15, your blood pressure has gone from a peaceful 100/60 to a shocking 130/85 or even higher. In just 15 seconds. That's like stepping on the accelerator of a cold car and redlining the engine immediately. The doctor pauses, lets that sink in, then continues. But we are not done. Second 15 to second 25, another 10 seconds. This is where most people stand up. They don't wait. They don't pause. They just stand. And the moment you stand, your body fights against full gravity. Your heart is already stressed from sitting up fast. Now you ask it to pump blood all the way up to your brain against a 6-foot column of gravity. Your blood pressure spikes again, another 15 to 20 points. By second 25, your blood pressure can easily reach 150/95 or even 160 out of 100. That's hypertensive crisis level. That's stroke level. That's heart attack level. And remember, you were sleeping peacefully just 25 seconds ago. Your heart went from rest to red alert in less than half a minute. That is not normal. That is not healthy. That is a silent war happening inside your chest every single morning. The doctor draws a steep upward line on the whiteboard, then a jagged peak. And then comes second 25 to second 30, the final 5 seconds. This is when you take your first step. Maybe to the bathroom. Maybe to the kitchen. Maybe just to the door. But that first step, that small movement, increases your heart rate by another 30% instantly. Your heart is now beating at 100, 110, sometimes 120 beats per minute. Your blood pressure is sky high. Your arteries are squeezed tight. And this is a big if you have even a 30% blockage in any artery, that sudden pressure is enough to crack the plaque like an eggshell. Plaque cracks. Body sends platelets to heal the crack. Platelets form a clot. Clot blocks the artery. And within minutes, part of your heart muscle starts dying. That is a heart attack. Not from running. Not from anger. Not from heavy food. From standing up too fast from your bed. The doctor puts the marker down. He walks back to his chair, sits down heavily, and looks at the camera with tired, honest eyes. I told you earlier about my patient, 52 years old. No chest pain. No shortness of breath. He was a driver, physically active, never missed work. One morning, his phone rang at 6:15 a.m. He was in deep sleep. He woke up, saw the phone, and in one single motion, sat up, swung his legs, stood up, and ran to the phone. All in under 20 seconds. He picked up the phone. Said, "Hello." And collapsed. His wife heard the phone fall. She found him on the floor, unconscious. He never woke up. The autopsy showed a 35% blockage in one artery. Just 35%. Not even half. But that morning, that 25-second mistake cracked that small plaque, and a clot took his life. His first symptom was his last. And the cruelest part? If he had just waited 90 seconds, just 1.5 minutes, he would be alive today. He would have seen his children grow up. He would have retired. He would have held his grandchildren. But 25 seconds of speed took away 25 years of his life. The doctor's voice cracks slightly, but he controls it. He drinks water. Then leans forward. So now let me give you what I give all my high-risk patients. The 3 rules. The morning protocol that cuts your heart attack risk by 70% immediately. No medicine. No cost. Just patience. He stands up and writes on the whiteboard in big, bold letters, wake lie, 90s, SIT, 30s, stand, 15s, walk. Rule number 1, the 90-second rule. When you wake up, do not move. Not your head. Not your hands. Not your legs. Just lie there for 90 full seconds. Breathe deeply. Let your body slowly transition from sleep mode to wake mode. Let those stress hormones settle. Let your heart rate rise gradually. 90 seconds is nothing. It's the time it takes to yawn twice. But in heart terms, it's the difference between a gentle sunrise and an explosion. Rule number 2, after 90 seconds, sit up slowly. Sit on the edge of your bed. Dangle your legs. And wait 30 seconds. Count to 30 in your head. Feel the blood moving. Let your blood vessels adjust. Don't rush. Rule number 3, after 30 seconds, stand up. But stand still. Do not walk. Stand still for 15 seconds. Let your body find its balance. Let your brain get enough blood. Then, and only then, take your first slow step. That's it. Wake, lie for 90, sit for 30, stand for 15, then walk. Total extra time. Less than 2 minutes. 2 minutes that will save your life. The doctor steps back, looks at the whiteboard, then back at the camera. I know what some of you are thinking. But doctor, I have to rush to work. I have to use the bathroom urgently. I have to take care of my kids. I understand. Life is busy. Mornings are chaotic. But let me ask you something, what is more important? Reaching work 2 minutes early? Or reaching work at all? What is more important? Rushing to the bathroom? Or living to see the next morning? Your heart doesn't care about your deadlines. Your heart doesn't care about your alarm clock. Your heart only cares about one thing. Not being asked to sprint when it's still sleeping. So please, I beg you, start tomorrow. Not next week. Not when I have time. Tomorrow morning. When your alarm rings, set a second alarm on your phone if you have to, an alarm that says 90 seconds, don't move. Then sit. Then stand, then walk. Do this for 7 days, and it becomes a habit. Do this for 30 days, and it becomes your new normal. Do this for life, and you may never become a statistic. He sits down one last time, looks directly into the lens, and speaks slowly, clearly, almost like a father giving final advice. I became a cardiologist because I wanted to save hearts. But I have learned that the best way to save a heart is not in the ICU with a stent or bypass. The best way to save a heart is in the bedroom, in those first 90 seconds of the morning. That is where heart attacks are prevented. That is where lives are extended. That is where families are kept whole. So here is my final warning to you, and I say this with all the love and urgency I have: do not let 25 seconds of speed steal 25 years of your life. Slow down your morning. Respect your heart. And if this video helps even one person wake up tomorrow and pause for 90 seconds instead of jumping out of bed, then every word I have spoken today is worth it. Share this with your parents. Share this with your spouse. Share this with anyone over 40. Because the person who needs to hear this the most might be sleeping right next to you. The screen slowly fades to black. Text appears: wake lie, 90s, SIT, 30s, stand, 15s, walk. A soft, steady heartbeat sound plays. Then the final text. 25 seconds of speed equals 25 years of regret. Slow down. Stay alive.